You have to do it, that's right.
Ooh.
Yeah, once a year, I get to do it. All right, I'm going to call the Weathersfield School Board meeting of March 11th to order at 6:30. The first item on the agenda is for us to reorganize. So I'm going to start by taking nominations for the board chair. Oh, I forgot to finish.
Yeah.
Back up, sorry. It's great, thank you. Pause. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the first item on the agenda, which is reorganization. And I will start by taking nominations for the election of the chairperson.
Nominate Anne Marie Redmond.
Is there a second?
Second. Oh, nope, you got this one. You're new, you take it.
Who gets it? All right. Are there, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Are there any other nominations? Right, hearing none. Any discussion? Okay, it's gonna be a roll call vote.
Okay.
All right, let's start with Sarah. How do you vote?
Aye, or yes.
John?
Aye.
Anne Marie?
Aye.
Vince?
Aye.
And Nick?
Aye.
Anne Marie? You
Okay,
are the chair and you are taking over the meeting.
thank you. Okay, up next we have the nomination and election for a vice chair. I'd like to nominate Vincent. Are there any other nominations? Anybody like a second?
I'll second.
Sarah, second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, so should be writing these down, right? So even though we'll remember the main ones, but sometimes the smaller ones you forget. Let's see, the clerk of the board. That's right, you're supposed to be the type out. John, you've got time during the day, right? We'll be the clerk of the board. You have to go down to the SU
And sign.
and sign the manifests and things like that.
I have to do it.
You like
It's just like once or twice a month.
Every couple of months.
I want you to sign manifest every week or every 2 weeks.
No.
Every couple of months once.
Yeah, you'll get an email from Gail. Stop in.
Okay, are you okay with that? Anybody else wanna? All right, then I'll nominate John to be the clerk of the board. I have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Sarah's gonna second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. 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 Okay, that's unanimous. I'll put John down for the clerk of the board.
So does he do both?
Oh, and sign of the manifest, sorry, yeah. Should I to do it separately, or?
You should do it.
I'll do it separately, okay. So then also, I'd like to nominate John to be signer of the manifest. Second?
I'll second.
This one. Does anybody else want to nominate anyone else? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And that's unanimous. Okay, nomination of representatives to the SU Bargaining Council. Now this is
So this is who steps up to do,
what Mark was doing, right?
yes.
So this is for support staff right now
Negotiations, yes. It's support staff, correct.
for this year, but there won't be teachers for this year, correct?
No, the teachers won't negotiate for 2 more years.
Okay,
So really
So-
finishing out this cycle for the support staff.
yes. Okay, is anyone interested in doing that? No?
I can help.
You can do, okay, great, Megan. Okay, so, I'll nominate Megan, do I have a second?
Sign.
Any discussion? Any other nominations? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you, Megan. We don't have on here, we can do the SU board, but we also have, the liaison to the select board as well. So we have nomination of representatives to the SU board. As I was saying before, the chair needs to be on the SU board, so that would put me on it, and then we need 2 others. Sarah would like to continue on it. John would like to do it. Vincent, you want to? Okay. John would like to do it. Are you interested in being on the SU board at this point? Or?
That's okay.
Okay. All right, so the nominees would be Sarah, John, and myself for the SU board. Do I have a second? I'll do the first. A second?
I'll be the second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we have the SU board. I noticed that we don't have on here the liaison to the select board.
Yeah, we can add it at the
You can
end.
have that one.
You can add it or put it on next month's agenda, whatever. We didn't add it at the beginning. Did we get to changes or additions to the agenda yet?
Nope, not yet. That's
So we
number
can do
2.
that. So we can add it.
Okay, all right, we'll do it at that point. Okay. Designation of a truant officer and it's Chief Daniels. Do I have a second? I'll nominate Chief Daniels.
Second.
John seconds. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Designation of an official newspaper, and what do we use, the Valley News or
We use values in the Eagle Times.
Valley News and Eagle Times? So, I'll make a motion to, have the Valley News and Eagle Times be our official newspapers. Anyone want a second?
Second.
Sarah seconds. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Establish a regular time, place, and date of the monthly meeting. Is everybody still good with the second Tuesday at 6:30? Good, okay. So the second Tuesday at 6:30, and I think the hybrid has been working out well. We have, usually a few people show up online and in person, so I think it's good. All right, and then the last one on there,
We have to vote on that.
the Roberts rules? Oh,
We have to vote.
Oh, vote on these, oh yeah, I guess we do. Okay, so I'll make a motion that, we do our usual second Tuesday of the month at 6:30 and hybrid, and the in-person part takes place at the school. Second,
I'll second that.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. And then the last one now is the Roberts rules for small boards. That makes it so that we can do without the second. It's rules for boards under 10, I think,
it's 12.
under 12. And since we're 5, it makes things a little quick, a little easier. And so we've been doing that for the past few years. Is everybody okay with that continuing? Okay, so I'll make a motion to continue with the Roberts rules for small boards. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that's unanimous. Okay. Up next, we have the changes and additions to the agenda, and we wanted to add on nominating a select board liaison.
I'll nominate myself. I think I actually was this year.
You were, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll do it again. Didn't do much of anything. I'll do it again.
Is anybody else interested in running?
Yeah.
Or,
Or John? John, you're not?
I-
You're not?
Don't mind doing it.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
he's always there anyway.
Yeah, you're actually, that makes more sense. That makes more
Why
sense
not?
for you. Yeah.
It's mostly during budget.
That's
Yeah.
when you go, yeah.
Yeah.
But, so, whoever, I'm okay with either one of you, so.
Flip a coin.
I'll withdraw.
Okay. So John, I'll nominate John to be the liaison to the select board. Does anyone, oh, we have a second, that's right, we already did the Robert's rules. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. And that's unanimous. Okay, up next we have the approval of the minutes from February 11th. I think, unless you were here, I guess Megan was here. John, were you here that day? too? No, I don't think, so you have to recuse yourself, but, so does anyone want to make a motion to approve the minutes from February 11th?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, any discussion? Any corrections? Anything? No? Looks good. Okay, so anybody, so I guess, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
And that's one abstention. Up next, we have public participation. Do we have any public participation today? No? Any online? Nothing. Okay. And then we're ready for the administrative report.
All right, so welcome to our board meeting for March 11th. First off, before we get started with the administrative report, I'd just like to thank all of our communities of Weathersfield for making sure that we passed our budget. So thank you very much. I know that's a big ask and we appreciate the support and we'll continue the excellence that we have here at school. So I am going to go ahead and start off with our wonderful PTO. So I just put PTO board because Carrie wasn't sure who was going to be here. So Carrie's going to be presenting on some of the stuff that PTO has been working on over the last month or so.
Yeah, a couple months.
Yeah.
So I think our last update might have been November. So just a couple of highlights of things that we've done. We did do our Make It and Take It craft event at the end of November, and that was wildly successful. We had over 130 students that attended, and community members that made gifts for loved ones. We did a quick little Thanksgiving bingo for staff and students. So over the break, they could do items that were on the bingo card, such as taking a nap and playing outside, watching football. And we did have quite a few get turned in. Leanna Robinson won $50 and a get out of duty free card, which they love. So that was fun. In December, we purchased more playground balls, kind of replenishing the ones that still end up over the bank. The fence could be about 20 feet higher, but it's great. We provided refreshments for staff for one of their luncheons. We hosted our annual holiday shop for the students, where they could shop inexpensively for friends and family members. And we provided a staff gift of some gloves with a Weathersfield School ice scraper. And then in January, we elfed all the teachers, which is where they get to select from a menu of items to have delivered. So they get, packs of 24 Sharpie markers and real paper towels, not the brown ones that push the slosh around, but actual real paper towels and napkins and tissues and stuff like that. So kind of whatever they need to replenish their classrooms. So we did that. We helped out the leadership students with the snowball dance. We did a mini grant for new swings and chains for the swing set. In February, we hosted our annual family dance that was for K through 5th grade families. We provided refreshments to staff for another luncheon. We hosted our first annual coin wars, which was so fun. It was Super Mario themed, and students and families brought in change and money, and we kept track grade level at a time. And kindergarten came out on top. Hopefully, do you have a picture?
Yeah.
Okay. So kindergarten won a great prize that it looks like Brian will highlight. And we raised just over $4,000 in 4 days. So that's pretty amazing. And then we were partners with the school for Camp Read a Lot, which I'm sure Brian will highlight as well. We did some decorations and provided some giveaways for the students. Coming up this month, we have our comedy night at the Common Man fundraiser, which is for adults only. We have sold so many of our tickets. It's exciting. We've doubled the food that people will get. We've got some fun prizes for games. So we're looking forward to that on March 29th. We have a spring apparel sale that will be opening in the next couple of weeks. And we are hosting what we're calling an open house meeting. It's not really an open house, it's our regularly scheduled April PTO board meeting, but we're really doing an active invite to get the community or other families to come. We're gonna have some snacks. It's in this room. So we're hoping some new folks will come and see what the PTO does and what we're about and hopefully want to get involved. And then we are going to be celebrating our staff for Staff Appreciation Week coming up in the early part of May. And the last thing for the PTO is as part of our Hicks Nichols Grant Award that we got to partner with the digital sign outside is that you do a survey to the community on that project, which we did. We had 65 responses to the main question is the board helpful in communicating information and prominently visible so that staff, students, and the community can read it? 65 responses, 98.5% positive, stating that it was a helpful and welcome addition to the school. So we feel good about that. We had one comment about hoping it wasn't on all night, and it's not. That is just a question we get. It's on a timer to come on. I think it's 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. By and large, that's kind of like the school hours. So that's what we've been up to and have coming up. Are there any questions? Thank you.
All right, very good. So just turn around and change hats. And now Kathy, or Carrie's gonna give our athletics reports.
Okay. So we just wrapped up, a couple weeks ago, our basketball season, which ended a little bit shorter than usual because we did not have teams in tournaments this year. The way they fell, coaches' commitments, vacation really kind of hurt us because most of the tournaments are over vacation and we just didn't have the numbers. So it was a little shorter season. But I do want to publicly thank the coaches for their commitment and dedication to our program and our athletes. It was Eric Nissenbaum, Christina Hughes, Alicia Crane, Jessica Martin, Kristen Gray, Kamari Gray, Brian Ellenwood, Ira Russo, Jesse Westcott, Bill Gilkey, John Richardson, Mike Booten, Shane Tansey, Dan Stevens, Megan Herschel, and Ethan Brown. Also want to highlight that we have excellent referees and officials and can't thank them enough for spending their time at Weathersfield. They're needed in a lot of communities and they consistently stick with us, and that's Scott Richardson, Bill Gilkey, Cam Chiesa, and Ryan Keefe. And I believe that we're retaining the highly qualified officials each season due in part that we give decent pay, much higher than they make for other schools in the area, which is certainly a draw. But we also have athletes and adults that are being respectful and letting the refs do their jobs. I think that we have very positive game environments, and I think that's certainly helpful in having the refs want to come back here. So I appreciate the budget that allows for us to pay just a little bit more for our refs. Spring sports registrations are open, so people can be signing up for baseball, softball, and track and field. However, based on our numbers that we've polled, we are not able to have middle school softball and baseball. We're not even kind of at a line where we can make it work. It's really, our 8th grade class is only 18 or so students, 19 students, so it's tough. So we are taking the registrations. As soon as the snow is gone and the fields are sort of dry, we'll get started. So it's still a couple of weeks out for sure. And those 7th and 8th graders have been released officially to register at other schools. I did that a couple of weeks ago. And I helped all of the families by giving them the local athletic director contact information, who to contact, how to get connected to another team, so hopefully that works out. And we have just 5 8th grade athletes from the winter season I would like to recognize. That's Addison Crane, Gwendolyn Kelly, Marley McLeod, who's our student board rep, Kaylee Roberts, and Mason Sapp. So wrapped up one season, taking a breather, we'll start spring season soon. Any questions about athletics?
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna do something a little bit different tonight, because one of my goals is not to talk as much in general and truly let our students, lead the learning. So Marley's gonna give quite a bit of, she's gonna do all the fun things about my report tonight. All right? You can sit, you wanna sit or stand?
I'll say.
Okay, all right,
We had Camp Riola, what was that? I don't know.
last Thursday.
Last Thursday. Yeah, sorry. That was really fun. It was for grades K through 5th. And there was actually a lot of kids and a lot of families. And we had like a bunch of different things set up around the school. We had Peter Pan cast members in here, like pirates, bright girls, lost boys, and just really anyone that was kind of involved. It was mainly over there. They would I was in it also. They would read books, and it was like kind of like set up as sports week. We had stuff in the the cafeteria, and there was games in there. And Mr. Martez was in there. It was really fun to see them. Shadow ended up coming through, and kids loved it. My favorite part was definitely the gym. The gym was definitely like. We had helpers set it up, and it was like foresty and wintry, and there was tents in the gym, and kids could pick a book and read it. And leadership kids definitely helped a lot. They helped guide people, they took care of a lot of stuff, they helped decorate, and it was definitely just a blast. It was a really fun time, and I'm glad I was there to see it. So I hope we can do another one of those soon, because I want to go do it. Okay. And there's just some pictures. And spelling bee, we had 3, these are 6th graders. We have Haley Follett, Addison Craig, and Ali McAllister. And they were all in it, and they did amazing. So that was also fun to hear about and know that we have some good spellers and some people that are interested in spelling in middle school. On the 24th, they're going out to Vermont State. So definitely good for them, and I'm so happy for them. Play update. I know it's going very good because I'm in it. And I had rehearsals today actually, and it's so fun. It's so cool, and it's going to be so magical because there's a lot of rehearsals. They participated in Camp Riola, that was in here. There's the preview on April 4th at 12:50, and is that Heartland?
Yep.
Heartland will be coming to watch our show, and I know that art kids, theater kids, and I don't know if there's another group of students that are going to Heartland to see their preview and for their Charlie Brown play theater production, so that's gonna be fun. And silly string and ice cream. So Carrie was talking about the coin war and how that was, and the kindergartners won, and they got 2 prizes. They got some ice cream, delicious, and they got to silly string Mr. Martez. The whole school was out there. That was so fun to watch. There's kids screaming and laughing, having just a good time. And at the end, there was a bunch of kids chanting for him to roll in it. I might have been one of them because I joined in with the little kids, and he didn't roll in it, but that's okay. It was fun watching him get silly string coming out in a big plastic bodysuit and gloves, just all geared up. Right, to get silly string. That was amazing. I loved it. And there's the kindergartners. I walked by the cafeteria and I saw the tablecloths and I was kind of sad that I didn't get ice cream. And that's okay because I'm so happy for the kindergartners because they definitely had a blast. So it must be fun for them. Motivational assembly. So he came in, was it yesterday? Yeah. His name was Chris. He was from Rhode Island and he has been biking for a long time. So he did some cool stuff for us, middle schoolers outside. And he definitely, I loved it so much. He talked about the main thing was respecting everybody, and he went through some things that you can do to get respect and give respect. So that was very nice and very cool. And he had walked us through like some important parts of his life from when he started biking and to like current times, and he told us everything he has experienced in his life and what he has done to like go through life and how he has found happiness in his life and a constant routine that has helped him, and that it was definitely motivational for me and I loved it so much. So, and he was actually here 15 years ago he came, so it was definitely such a blast to see him. Oh, and in the end, this is probably my favorite part. Miss Cole and Mrs. Keith actually got to lay on the floor for him to jump over. This definitely got people, middle schoolers, really happy and like chanting. And he also rode his bike around like a surfboard. It was very cool. And so I was definitely very happy. It was scary. It was very scary. But they lived. So.
They don't wanna screw that up.
Yeah, we didn't see the end, but we lived, right?
They live. He cleared up and they live, so.
Very good. And he was like going on about how either Miss Keith has like a 50-50 chance and he didn't know about Miss Cole. Miss Cole, we'll see what happens. And PE fun. There was cross country skiing around the field and a little bit in the woods. There's like a little one-way track in the woods, and that was very fun. And snowshoeing for some of the younger kids. I know that is very fun because we middle schoolers started out snowshoeing and going on big hills, and I had a blast, and a lot of my friends and peers had such fun time. And some of the younger kids are doing circus activities, and I know there's like spinning plates, and there's, I don't know what they're called. There's big yo-yos, and the, what are they called?
Devil sticks.
Devil sticks, that's what I was thinking of. And they're just so fun, and I can't wait to see what they're doing. And I know that they're definitely having a blast, because I know I did. So that was fun. And we have music March Madness. So there's daily competitions between 2 songs for kids to vote, and the votes get sent in to Miss Town. So I thank her very much for having to count all those and adding them up. I could never. Single elimination, one of the songs get picked for the day. The brackets, they end up going against each other, and in the end, they keep going against each other till we have our final winner. And one final winner, and it's NCAA style. I don't know what NCAA is.
NCAA, it's like the basketball tournament that goes on March.
Okay, March Madness. So I don't know what it is, but it's very like fun, and I love it because we also get to listen to music every morning, and it's so fun to hear silly songs, like really good songs that I remember. So yeah.
Great. That was good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so I always like to put our mission statement in there. The mission of Weathersfield Schools to prepare and empower students to be leaders with a global vision by helping them develop critical thinking, communication, collaboration skills, and creativity. All right, we are getting ready to start the TCAP, which is our state testing. So that starts officially next week on the 18th. Yes, it is earlier this year because our window from the state, our spring break falls right in the middle of it. So they opted to have it done prior to spring break because there's a certain amount of time that you can get it done without having to do all this shenanigans. So we start off next week with 5th and 8th grade science, and then we'll hit ELA the following weeks, grades 3 through 8, and then finally math. So most of those tests, or the tests are 2-day tests. So we typically test on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and we do makeups in between. And then before we go to spring break, all the tests will be done. So hopefully we'll get that information back to us sooner. And if the stadium lifts the embargo, that would be great too. All right. So enrollment for FY25 is today 236 students. Had an average of 220. There's a few bugs going around. We've had kids that have been out sick and everything else. And I know at other schools, my son and daughter's school, they've been having lots of illnesses. So 93% attendance rate, which isn't bad. Safety drills, we did do an evacuation drill where we had the students evacuate to a different location, which was important. And so we had them do that on the 28th of February. We're practicing those monthly deals. Leader and me, right now, we're focusing on habit 7, sharp and soft. So every morning when Marley does announcements, she touches on the Leader and me 7 habits. And this month, like I said, it's habit 7. And then the next month, we'll work on that habit 8, which is finding your voice. So the new habit of the habit. So we'll work on that one. Upcoming events. We have lots of things happening in the next few months or a few weeks. So obviously school board tonight, we have an invention convention by 4th graders that will be happening on Thursday in the AV room. We also have our Pride Assembly on Friday with our leprechaun traps. Our 1st graders are making leprechaun traps. So that's always a fun and exciting opportunity for kids to catch a leprechaun. And then March 18th, BT Cap starts. The 21st, we have an early release day for all students. And then April 4th and 5th is the Clear Pan Junior Play. All right. With that being said, we have our wonderful music teacher here, Ms. Town, and she's going to be talking about possibly doing some music department fundraisers for an upcoming major opportunity for our students.
I'm Becca Town, I'm the music teacher. We are going to Six Flags for Music in the Parks with the whole SU. I don't actually know the last time that we went to Six Flags, that the SU went to Six Flags. I know I did when I was in high school. And it was always such a fun experience. You get to hear all of these different choirs from around not the state, New England. Usually you're paired with like the same age, so we should be seeing other middle school ensembles. I don't know that our SU has ever gone for band, so this is exciting that we're going for both. It used to be just the high school level that went. This year we are doing an SU-wide band and chorus. So Heartland, Weathersfield, and Windsor will all combine into one choir and one band. And then the day before, May 29th, the Thursday before, we're all gonna meet up in Windsor, and the 2 ensembles are gonna have a full day of rehearsal, and then we will have a send-off concert. So we'll perform the pieces and the songs that we're performing for Six Flags for the competition as an open concert so that parents and families can come and see. There are lots of benefits to this, one of which is that our kids don't get to play in big ensembles in our school. As much as we want that to happen, we are not the size of school that promotes a 40-person band or a 60-person choir. And especially at the middle school level, it's a numbers game, and there's strength in numbers, and our kids get the chance to do that here. So with that being said, there is a cost to this trip. It's, I think, $97 a kid. That includes admission to the park, the program's Music in the Parks, their entrance fee into the contest. And we're requiring for all students to have a food voucher to make sure that everyone's eating and drinking while we're there. And then the price kind of goes down if families have season passes. We're able to flex that in and out. But the fundraisers that we have, that we are hoping to do, is a single night, a bingo, with music. We will have kids doing the drawing, the bingo calling with catchy songs in the background. You are not required to sing, but you might be tempted anyways. And possibly some student performances during the intermission. During that night, we could also do the 2 other fundraisers that we were planning, which is a school song contest. So 2 or 3 small groups with band and choir will work together to compose a new school song. So the tune and the lyrics, and then have the school vote on it, like coin war style. So you place your ballot, the one with the most coins wins. And then the idea is that we can then sing that song at school events. So like at pride assemblies, at our special events. So that would be open for voting on that night. And then I had a surprising number of students that were very interested in doing a craft sale. I'm hearing that they're very into making bracelets. I have some crocheters. I don't think I have any knitters. But they're wanting to sell some crafts for the event. I guess I had a question about bingo. I don't know if we can do cash bingo in a school. I don't know the rules, but if we cannot do that, can we do a prize bingo?
I think you can do a prize bingo. I don't know about it. Have you done cash bingo?
We have not, but I do know that when I was doing the research for raffles, because it's cash chance, you
Okay.
can within a school a certain number of times.
Okay.
You just can't hold it weekly, it can't be a regularly scheduled event. So my research led to, yes,
Once a year would be okay.
for sure.
That's all I have. We have tons of performances coming up, so anyone that is wanting or able to come to those performances would be amazing to support our students. Thank you. I actually need to sneak out because I am singing a choir as well.
That's the end of my report.
Yeah, so we should vote for, to
Do you
approve?
want to do it under items for discussion? Or do you want to do it? right
Yeah, so I guess somebody can let you know, but.
Okay.
It's
I should be able to
probably,
answer.
it's probably gonna be okay.
You're welcome. Go sit, please.
All right, I'm up next. First, wanted to say how impressed I was to hear the amount of money raised in the coin war. That's incredible. So PTO here is strong, and other PTOs learn from this PTO. So I just wanted to start with a budget update. First of all, thanking the community because the Weathersfield budget did pass on the first try, which is wonderful. I also wanted to announce that all the WSESU budgets passed, which is great news. So just thanks to the communities for supporting our budgets and education. Just a little tidbit about the state. As of last Friday, 92% of the budgets in the state had passed. They have not all voted yet. Some districts vote a little bit later based on their communities. So out of 101 budgets that have happened, 9 failed. So a much better rate than last year. I think that just shows the Vermont's strong support of public education. To me, it sends a signal that we know we have to do some transformation, but we need to do it very carefully and mindfully and not and deliberately and not make rash decisions. So just wanted to announce that. As you know, the legislative session is in session. They were on break last week, right before crossover. The big bill in the legislature right now is the governor's bill, H 454. I sent you all a summary of it today. I don't know if you found that helpful. I found it helpful. It's a 190-page document was released with lots of details, not all the details, but a lot of details. So that summary is a nice snapshot of what those pages say. I have heard that the Senate and the House are working on their own version of
I
consolidation.
participated in the, I watched the webinar that the
Yes.
VS.
I did too. It was informative.
Yeah.
Very informative. It's on, they record those, so if anybody's interested, if you go on the SBA website. It was Peter Conlon, who's the chair of
The education,
Yep, and Emily Kornheiser.
Kornheiser, she does Ways and Means for the house
So it
also.
was pretty informative it was a lunch and learn hour-long session. I can't remember if I announced the director of curriculum at the local levels. I know I did at the SU level, so we've hired,
Don't think you
I
did.
don't think I did. We've hired a director of curriculum, instruction, and assessment as our current director's retiring this year. And we've hired a director of student support services, so we're very fortunate to have found a very qualified person for, especially the director of student support services. It's a hard to fill position. So we have Jennifer Holtz coming. She's from the North Country. She's got a wealth of experience in special education. So she is moving to the area and will take that position. And we've hired Bridget Ferriel for the director of curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Sarah participated in all. Sarah was a trooper. She participated as an initial screening member and on the administrative team level interviews. So we're starting to onboard these people. The current directors have set up some meeting times with them so that they can start to transfer the things that they do and show them, the ropes. Both of these people will attend. We have a short administrative retreat in the spring, so they're going to be able to make it to that, which is great, in our summer retreat. So you'll meet them. You'll meet them soon. My last slide is we have worked for the past, seems like really intensely for the past 3 years, but I know it was prior to that, on building a strong instructional coaching program within each of our schools and across the supervisory union. So for the past 3 years, we tried to build this coaching program by combining the role with our current interventionists. And it's been okay. It's been hard. And the feedback from the people in these roles has been, it would make much more sense for there to be a designated coach and a designated interventionist, so their time is not divided and their efforts and their energy is not divided. So we've worked collaboratively with the folks in those positions, our union leadership, the principals, and I think we're at the point where we've made it happen. So the title will be instructional team leaders. They will be coaching. They'll also be spearheading a lot of our MTSS work, which they do currently. So I just wanted to let you know you'll probably be hearing that term, instructional team leader. I think in this building it will be.
Yeah,
we haven't decided
We haven't
completely.
Yep.
So I won't say a name tonight, but you'll hear eventually. So we're pretty excited about that. We think it'll help move our universal instruction, that tier 1 instruction forward in a really positive way. So that is the end of my report. I'm happy to take questions if there are any.
Okay. So next we have our items for discussion. So the budget debrief, and as both of you have said, thank you so much to the voters of Weathersfield for passing our school budget. There was a lot of voter turnout. I heard they had to go over to paper ballots because there were so many people voting, and I'm glad we have such great community involvement. And and thank you very much for passing our budget. I know that we're still looking to fund the Hubert, is that how you say it? Hubbard?
Yeah.
The Hubbard trip.
So we've secured funding for this year, for next year, for FY26 already, so we have that. So that's already been earmarked for that and for Four Winds, so those are covered. And so we'll look for a different source for the following year, for FY27.
Okay, great.
Good.
Anyone have any other questions about the budget or comments? No. Okay, next we have the Athletics Booster Club, Bill Gopi. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah. How's it going, guys? I have just a little packet handed out, just one of the things that we are trying to work on. For the Booster Club.
Thanks. Want to
Yeah, so real quick, I just wanted to meet to, sorry, I'm getting over sickness here. To introduce myself and, the booster club that we started. First of all, a little background about me. I grew up in Weathersfield. I went to this school, graduated in 2004 from Weathersfield. Not this fancy school. We bought a house here in 2015, and I have a fourth grader and a kid coming into kindergarten next year. I've been coaching youth sports since 2009-ish, so forever, feels like. And I'm the assistant recreation director over in Windsor, for the town of Windsor. So a little bit about the Booster Club. We were organized, and our mission was, the Weathersfield Booster Club is organized for the purpose of supporting athletics at Weathersfield School. We are working towards getting our 501(c) all situated, so we will be nonprofit. I am the president. Our vice president is Shane Tansey, who has 2 kids in the school now and another one coming. The secretary is my better half. She has 2 kids in the school system. The treasurer is Jess Brown, who's over here. She has 1 kid that graduated from here and another one in the school. And then to round out the board, we had decided that it was a good idea to keep the current athletic director on the boards so that we're in touch with what's going on with athletics. So we have Carrie and John Richardson, who also has a kid in the school. We are in the very early stages of getting this thing up and running. We basically have the board. We've had a few meetings. We've got some stuff figured out. We're working towards getting volunteer memberships going to help us with fundraising events and other things. Some things that we had talked about, the Booster Club, helping with our uniforms, upgrading some game and practice equipment, upgrading or maintaining facilities, the fields and stuff, and potentially like parting gifts for our 8th grade athletes that have gone through the program and just give them something to remember Weathersfield by. We plan on raising money. We've got a very active group through merch sales and some other events. The PTO has talked about possibly handing over the concession stand to us to loosen their burden a little. And then yeah, we have planned a home run derby event, which we'd like to get your approval to run events like that at our school, get other people here and to raise money and support this program in any way that the budget doesn't allow. One of our main goals, and a lot of people have been talking with me in the last 4 years, having my kid in sports, was they really would like an outdoor scoreboard. And it's a big task, it's a big chunk of money, but I think that our group is motivated enough and we can raise the funds relatively quickly, I believe. But this would benefit all 3 of our outdoor sports, baseball, softball, and soccer. It's roughly $12,000 depending on stuff that we get donated and get volunteer stuff, which is, in my opinion, not that much money. I was talking with the company that does all of the scoreboards basically in Vermont. It's Vermont Display Incorporated, and the lady was very good to work with. She also gave me the history on Winters, which spins and will do field hockey, soccer, baseball, and it'll spin and do football. And their board was installed 34 years ago, and it's still going strong. So, basically, my point in trying to get on the meeting tonight was to introduce you guys, let you know that we're trying to support the athletics program, and also ask for permission to get the ball rolling on installing one of these.
What is a home run derby?
So, yeah, so, basically it's a baseball type event, and you would set up a fence and pitch balls to a kid, and they would try to hit them, and every time they hit one over the fence, that's a home run. And so whoever hits the most home runs wins.
And how is that a fundraiser? People
So,
sponsor it or?
yeah, so you pay to enter,
Oh,
and
okay.
then you win a prize, whatever. And so you pay to enter, and then with that, there's other little mini games you can play, and concession stands and all that.
Bill, if you send me something too about the Athletic Booster Club, I can also put something in the newsletter to get the information out there to families even more.
Awesome.
So we can definitely have that communication piece out there, so more people can join and help out.
Yeah, and then one other thing that I skipped over, we also would like to, sell sign sponsorships. So I don't know if any of you have seen baseball parks or whatever, they all have these sponsorship signs, and it just, up in Windsor, we do it for our little league fields, and it just makes it feel like a ballpark. Basically you go to local companies and say, hey, we'll put your logo on this fence, you'll get advertisement, for a sponsorship fee, and then we in turn use that money, which they are able to write off as a donation, and then it helps us raise money that way as well.
Any other questions? So you're looking to get approval to sell the signs for the baseball field and also for the home run derby? And to start researching this?
And to see if it's possible, like, we don't wanna put a lot of effort into getting a scoreboard if it's not gonna be approved, kinda, so it's like,
Oh, okay.
They want.
They want approval that they can
can
hang
do it.
up and they.
So I have a question. So the $12,000, is that just the sign or is that the sign and the installation?
that's that would basically cover everything.
Wow, okay. Well,
And you're gonna fundraise the whole thing and.
Yeah, it would be 100% done, there's no, we wouldn't need to get funds for everything.
I just want to add, the board had approved for the athletic department to sell banner advertisements or space and the fences or whatever, and I don't get to it. So I just wanted you to know that I'm fine to have that taken over by someone else, and it was previously approved by a different organization.
Thank you.
So I guess my question is for Christine and Brian. So at administration level, like, what is the process for their, like, we could say yes, of course, because we think it's a great idea, but how do signs work? Like, would that be
Like
something,
zoning
what
issues or
channel
something?
would that have to go
We'd
through?
have to go through, maintenance, building and maintenance, we'd have to talk to Jim for sure, but I'm sure it's something that's doable here. We just have to look to see where we run the electricity, because we do have leach fields and everything else out there. So we'd have to get, all that, but it shouldn't be an issue to be able to run that and do it, so.
John had a question?
You mentioned that you were trying to form a 501c, and how does the PDL handle their fundraising? Is that also a 501c?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they keep their funds separate from all, in a different pocket?
Yep.
Okay.
Is there a solar option instead of electric by chance for the signs?
Say that
Like
again.
solar for battery to run them that way? That may not be worthwhile, but
I don't think so, I think it's all,
makes sense. I just figured I'd ask.
So is this whole sign lit up or only the numbers on it?
just the numbers would be lit up, yep.
Okay.
And they're LED lights, right?
And what part of the field, like the end or up here? Probably.
So that would be part of, in the planning.
Oh, okay.
But in order to make it so that it could be seen from everywhere, it makes more sense to me to be sort of in the middle of the field. along the fence so that you can see it when you're playing baseball or softball or sidelines for soccer.
Be right like a flagpole along the fence.
How does it work for the different sports? Like, do they, does
So if
those change?
If you thumb through that, it'll show you, so that, the first page is just the color that we would get, school colors. And then that's the actual brochure for the board, which is the most common one that she sells to small schools. But you change a panel out, and then the controller is actually what will handle the different sports.
Pretty high tech.
Okay, anyone have any more questions? So,
I know it's kind of a bunch of things at once, but,
Yeah.
the sign sponsorship is, just to clarify that, those are temporary. You hang them up during baseball, softball season, or soccer season, and you take them down for the year.
are they like, they're like banners?
They're like banners or metal signs or, and the businesses are aware that they're hung up during this time.
And then they come down.
So that's kind of separate from the scoreboard. That's a fundraising
Mhm.
thing, and then the scoreboard would be one of the things that we do with those funds.
Any more questions, or we wanna, I think we should probably do it separately, the fundraisers and then the sign. I'll take a motion to approve the fundraisers of the banners or signs along the fence and the home run derby.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, any discussion?
Are we voting on just those fundraisers or like a blanket fundraising, sort of like what athletics has? Because
Yeah, I mean,
because
as
he was
long-
mentioning the
yeah.
use of school property in that in that request.
Okay, so, yeah, I guess, you wanna broaden it and,
Cause you said
Do you
you're
want
gonna do
permissions
Carol
just to be able to
and
fundraise on school property?
Booster
Yeah.
fundraiser.
Right,
okay.
instead of just
Just
us
instead
doing
of,
this every
instead of
time,
two
right?
specific things.
Right.
Okay, all right, would you like to make that motion? So,
I'll make a motion to approve the Booster Club to do any and all fundraisers on school grounds for the benefit of the Booster Club.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that's good, and then, so as far as the sign goes, we can't really give total approval until we hear from, the grounds, but, I think we could probably do some kind of like preliminary okay to start research on it.
Yeah, and I'll give it tomorrow.
Okay, we'll take a motion to, begin researching for the possibility of putting up a multi-sport scoreboard.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that's also unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, up next we have substitute pay, which, do you wanna go over
A
it?
little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. Bill asked for this to be on the agenda at each local board meeting. We are having difficulty finding enough substitute teachers. So currently, what happens when we don't have enough substitutes in a building, support staff members are pulled. And that is a disruption, and there's a cost to that, right? Maybe not monetary cost, but there's a cost to pulling staff members to do a job that leaves their job undone. So the current rate for a sub, we upped it, I think,
It was a couple of years ago, yeah.
it's $125 a day. The other board, Mount Scottney talked about it last night. Heartland was talking about it tonight, but I was multitasking two meetings, so I didn't hear what they talked about. Mount Scottney's bringing it back next time to talk about an amount. So it makes sense that we all have the same amount across the SU just for payroll purposes. But it's a local budget expense, so I think the figure that's being floated is either 150. I know I've heard getting to $200, which would certainly attract people. I think at 150, if I remember the math correctly, we were doing it, it would be about a $21 an hour position, which is competitive with a lot of local businesses, like fast food restaurants, et cetera. So I'm happy to put it on next month. If you want to think about it and talk about an amount next month and get more information on what other boards are thinking of in terms of an amount.
Yeah, I think it would be good for us to coordinate. Do we know what the, like what other districts nearby are paying?
We did last time. I don't know. I can do that research. We'll find
Yeah.
out. I thought we were competitive, but I think everybody's struggling.
Yeah.
So I'll reach out and find out.
How is it here at Weathersfield? Do you have trouble? Or-
We have 3 pretty consistent subs that we are able to use, but I can't guarantee that for next year because one of them will no longer have students here. But we do have to pull pairs at times, so.
Okay. All right, does anyone have any other questions for today or want to hear what the other boards? I believe it's also be discussed at the SU board meeting this month.
Yeah, at the end of the month.
So we can come back and report on what was discussed.
I think my only question is for, if you're gonna try and, form a local budget, can you pool your resources too, to say instead of 3 subs on this list, I have maybe 10 for the SU and share that way? Is that possible?
Yes.
It's possible that most people that sub here don't want to sub my budget.
Okay.
I don't want to share, I like to share, but.
Fair enough.
Is there, what is the data like? Are you using a sub every day? I mean, what's the demand for subs? Like if it's every day,
Well, I was gonna say,
that
what's the
helps us
cost
determine.
for subs? Yeah, but like,
What's that?
oh, I was gonna say, I mean, that could help us determine how much we wanna
That
go
would
up
help
to,
us
like,
to say, well, we're always
Yeah.
deficient by 1 every day at
Mhm.
least, and then a figure
Yeah.
would develop based on what the demand
I
is.
think
There's
your attendance is probably a little bit better than some of the other districts. I don't know, you can speak to it.
Yeah, I mean, we do have more, as far as people that are out on a daily basis, it's more of our support staff than our teaching staff. So that.
and do
happens.
subs fill in support? They don't, right, okay.
They don't, although if you're a one-on-one,
Right, shift.
we
Right.
have to shift things around.
Right.
to Make that work. We do our best to do that. So
So assuming that for subs, it's, how much notice do you usually get? Is it a hand
an
thing?
hour.
An hour, okay.
Sometimes it's the night before, people know they're gonna be out, but sometimes it's first thing in the morning, you're sick and call in.
I was gonna say, you could try and incentivize, hey, this is the notice we gave you, there's an additional with that, but it sounds like that's for all of them.
And are subs always just a short-term solution, or are they fill in like vacations or time off requests outside of, or? I mean, or is it literally just a short-term solution that you have?
It's a day, like, teachers and support staff don't get vacation days, so
Yeah,
it's never
okay.
for vacation. I
Okay.
mean, they get vacation, but it's built
Yeah.
into the calendar.
Okay.
So it's personal days and sick time, bereavement time,
Yeah.
professional development, sometimes
Right.
staff.
And is this something you're talking about now, or in negotiations that are they included?
Well, I can't talk.
Not really,
about
yes, understand that, but okay, no, yeah, you know what I mean?
But,
Okay.
yeah, we're talking about it now.
John's got a question.
And how does this pay scale dovetail with if you need a long-term sub?
A long-term sub has to be a certified teacher in
Okay.
that content area. And so those contracts get negotiated.
A lot different.
Yeah, it's not the same rate.
What's the cutoff for when they're a regular sub and a long-term?
6 weeks. 6 weeks. If anything more than, from tongue-tied, 30 days
30 actual school days.
has to be long-term. Yeah, and it's a struggle to find long-term subs as well. So.
How
They
can you
do.
be the sub?
How old you have to
Yeah,
be?
I'm assuming 18.
You have to have a high school diploma.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. High school and the professional development.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll bring that back and I'll try to get some rates for, surrounding areas.
Yep, that'd be great. Support staff negotiation representative,
We got that.
which we already have, so we're done with that. Megan, thank you.
Don't thank me yet.
And then approval of the music fundraisers is up next. So, she wants to do the Singo night and include it in with that, or maybe separate, or a couple of other small fundraisers. And it's all to go to the, Six Flags for the band and chorus. I mean, and is that just 7th and 8th graders, or
It's 6 up there.
6th, 7th and 8th?
Middle level.
Okay. Right, I'll take a motion. Or you want a question about it?
Yeah, how are those funds, handled through the school?
Through,
Because this wouldn't be a 501c.
no, correct. It goes through student activities, correct, BJ?
Those accounts get audited.
Student activities.
Student accounts, yeah.
So I'll take a motion to approve the music fundraisers for Six Flags trip.
So move.
Okay, John made the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are we gonna need executive session? No. Okay, all right, so we'll skip over that unless anybody up here has anything. Okay, setting the next agenda. So what date is that? Second Tuesday of April?
April 8th.
April 8th, okay. At 6:30? And that's here at the school. And online as well, so hybrid. I know we had talked about, perhaps doing a tour of the facilities this spring. Would that be appropriate to do for the April meeting?
With Jim or without?
Jim?
With Jim, yeah.
I'll ask Jim.
Yeah.
April 8th.
Yeah, so if Jim's available, otherwise we'll move it to May, but, needs to be one of those two, because then school's out. So, June's our treat.
Could we discuss, support for there's a House bill and a Senate bill, both for a statewide, cell phone ban in school? Could we, discuss the support letter
Creating a support letter? Or
next meeting?
Yeah, so creating a support letter from the board.
From the board.
Saying that we support that.
Both bills
we
are
don't
almost
have-
identical.
We have a cell phone.
We have a cell
We do,
phone.
but this would be, yeah,
How different is it from, do we know how the two differ, or is it
it'll be a
tougher?
little bit different.
the bill, bans cell phones in schools, correct?
Correct.
We don't ban them. Students
You,
can have them in their backpacks. They can't have them on their, out during the school day.
I think from the bill language, the biggest change would be that they would have to, be put into a lock, some kind of locking envelope or something as they come in the school as opposed to in their backpack. I think that would be the only major change.
Does the school pay for
I was gonna say,
locking
'cause
pockets?
what I've heard on these lock-in pockets,
I think
thousands of dollars.
When we surveyed the community, which we did before we put a, procedure in place, there was, really wide support of not having cell phones out during the school day, especially K-8.
Yeah.
But parents wanted students to have access to their phones in case there was an emergency, which is not great because you don't want kids on their phones during an emergency, but I understand where, parents are coming from. So that's where, we drew the line. We said they could keep them in their backpacks or in their lockers. They couldn't have them out in classrooms. Now, I think K-8, it works pretty well.
Yeah, we have very limited amount of problems with cell phones and kids taking them out.
High school, they're allowed to have their phones out at lunch. And The seniors typically write a letter and ask for permission to be able to use their phones during their, like, as a senior privilege when they're in the senior lounge, which.
I'll get the language for the House Bill and Senate Bill, so it can be forwarded out before the meeting.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and then, like, if we wanted to be supportive of it to a certain extent, like,
I was
we
just
don't
gonna
wanna
say-
have to invest in the
I'm
bags.
not
Well,
sure,
we decide it doesn't fit
I'm not sure
Yeah.
we should be,
the way we
Yeah.
do things.
supporting something that the SU may not.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, if you wanna get that out to everybody, we can have a discussion about it at next meeting. So cell phone policy, or cell phone bills, cell phone bills. Let's see, is there anything else that,
We wanna do the substitute pay.
oh, that's right, yeah, we have to do it again. Okay. I just had a thought and now it left my brain.
And you're talking about this, the substitute pay for the next school year, right? Okay.
Yes, or the following, because we have the. budget,
Yeah, I was
so
just thinking, where was that?
It wasn't, so it'll be the following year.
So it would be the following year, not
I
next year,
think
but
so,
the
I think
following
we should
year.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Wait, no,
Um,
27.
So cell phone bill substitute pay, is there one more, oh, facilities tour.
The
Yeah.
facilities tour, yeah.
Would you want that at the, prior to the meeting or during the meeting? The facilities tour?
Actually, probably, is everybody okay with prior to? Is everybody good with
Yeah, so
coming
we
at
can
6?
discuss it
For the board coming
on
at
record
6?
if we need
And
to.
then we'll, yeah. Yeah, so we'll do the tour starting at 6.
We could do like Facebook Live and walk around.
I also wanted to, talk about, the future for Four Winds, coming up with, trying to find another school to work with us. So I don't know, I know I received a bunch of emails in support of the Four Winds program and people offering to help. And, I believe I forwarded all those on, but, like the woman who runs the program, she offered to go and try and find other schools in the area to help with that. So maybe if we could ask a couple of people to come who are involved in Four Winds to come to the next meeting and we can discuss with them. Or maybe if they could have some ideas of how to get other schools involved.
Would that help with the budgeting for us, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause our Four Winds basically doubled in cost this year because Heartland left. It was originally, we were paying $1,500
Yeah.
and it went up to $3,000 because we had to foot the whole bill ourselves.
It's a little less than that,
Yeah.
it's 27.
I'm not sure that they would,
Per year.
I'm not sure if all of a sudden there's 3 schools, it's 3 times the work, so I'm not sure they would.
No, they come and teach, you would
Train together.
You train together and yeah, it wouldn't cost any extra. I mean, I guess if we probably got a whole bunch of other schools involved, they would probably want some more money, but, I think if we just had 1 or 2 other schools involved, they would train them here for the
Okay.
same.
So the savings would be on the training end.
Yeah,
Okay.
cause everything else is volunteers.
That's right.
So, I think the training is the only cost, right? Yeah. Okay, anything else? Okay, I guess I'll take a motion to adjourn if we're done. Everybody's good? Okay. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we're done. Thank you, everybody.
BJ, what time did you get out the other night?
1:30.
And what time you were at work the next morning?
We have Chromebooks for you guys that are.
For like virtual.
Oh, cool.